Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope all is well. Whew, it is Friday. Yes, yesterday was Thursday. Today is Friday. First, giving honor to the Most High for waking us up this morning, blessing us, keeping us, giving us another chance to be better today than we were yesterday. God is really, really good. And I don't feel the best, but I'm here. I am up. I am sitting in front of the library because I have books that I need to return that my son read. Oh snap! I am missing my hair. It's one of them he ruined. There's this goo that he plays with. This goo that's got glitter and I always tell him, do not play with it on my furniture. Do not play with it on my rug. You need to get over here on by the table or somewhere else. Well, he decided to set the goo down on one of his library books, the most expensive one. Okay, it's a thick this big graphic novel. Not one of these little ones that probably gonna cost me $10, but the really thick one, Lord of the Flies. That book is $30. So I said, you know what? Because at first I was getting mad about it. I'm like, yo, this is the second book that you done ruined that I'm gonna have to pay for. I said, you know what? I'm tripping. I'm tripping. You gonna pay for it, not me. This is coming out of you. All your little money you got stashed around the crib. It's coming out of you. I'm not paying for it. Why am I upset? You paying for it. And that's what I'm gonna make him do. Hey, Prince Bud, top of the morning to you. Happy Friday. How are you? What plans do you have this weekend? Hey, Thanson. Thanson. Hi. So, anyways, I'm gonna turn these books in. Then I'm gonna go over there to the YMCA, who I've been a member for 4 or 5 years now. I'm gonna cancel my membership and I'm going to just start going to the gym. Oh, you're 11. Why aren't you in school? And because I've been spending $74 a month on that gym membership, and I have not been to the gym since October. Okay. For those of you that don't know, I had a medical emergency and my back was jacked up and I wasn't able to work out. So I asked them to pause my payments until I'm able to come back. They unpaused it in April. And now I'm paying $74 and I still haven't been back because number one, my back is not at 100%. I'm actually going to be moving into new. Oh, good for you. Is it nicer? Is it more affordable? Why are you moving? If you don't mind, you don't have to answer that. I'm nosy, so I'll be. Yeah, thank you. Little man should be in school. You're in Myanmar? So is it nighttime where you are? Are you in another country? Um, so yeah, that's $74 that I've been paying these people for nothing. And one of the reasons why I kept my membership at the Y also is because my son plays sports through them. So I always get a discount, for registration, stuff like that, but it's not that much. It's like $25 off. That's not enough for me to keep my membership there. When I could just go on any base that I want that's local and they have all of the same equipment. Also, not to mention that there's another gym that is way nicer. They have the massage chairs, which the Y does not have. They have what else do they have? The ultraviolet or the red light therapy room. They have a theater room that you can bike and watch movies in. Like fire. This place is so nice. Their equipment is top tier. It's just really, really nice. And their premium membership is $44. And I'm over here at the Y. Now, the Y does have a sauna. They do have a pool. They do have, classes and things like that. But at the end of the day, I'm paying $30, $40 extra that I don't need to when I could go to the other place or on base for free. So I'm going to cancel my membership. Plus, this is my son's last year playing sports with him because he's pretty much aged out. So now we have to find a local soccer team for him to join, which should be easy. Prince Bud says I'm actually going to be moving into a new spot. Oh, okay. Yeah, more affordable, and it'll be by myself. I know that's right. Yeah, ain't nothing like living with yourself. But in the meantime, sometimes we got to do what we got to do to survive, right? So it is what it is. So I'm proud of you, Prince Bud. Good job. Keep going. Keep doing what you got to do, man. I'll tell you what, ain't nothing like living by yourself, bud. Ooh, we ain't nothing like living by yourself. Okay. Bye-bye. But what I wanted to talk about this morning was, let me see if I could do this right. The topic is, what you do now is going to affect you later. And y'all see this young lady right here? Does she look happy to you? She's struggling right now. So I was watching, I can't remember the lady's name that I was watching yesterday, but basically Chit Chat, what's her name? Chit Chat. I can't think of her name, but anyway, she gets on like people that get online and beg. And not budgeting. Chit Chat. I can't think. It's bothering that I can't remember this lady's name. But anyway, she gets on people who beg, dry beg, people that make bad decisions in their lives, and she just basically, reacts to different things that she sees on TikTok. Love you too, Thansin. Be good now. Principal said, thank you, means a lot. And you got to find some news, and you got to find some new stuff. Yeah, what's wrong with her? I'm going to tell you. Hi, Gary. Good morning. I hope all is well. I hope you're having a great Friday so far. You guys see, I got my glasses back, right? Now, these aren't the originals, okay? I'm still mad that I ain't find my originals. I'm so mad. But I ordered another pair, and at least the prescription is up to date. But these aren't the other ones. The other ones I had were brown, and then they had some other stuff on the bottom. They were so cute, and I still miss those glasses. But now I'm a little self-conscious about my big frames because I was watching, what are they called? The Black Square One. It's a couple. And they react to different Kendra G videos, and they are hilarious. They are a married couple, and they are hilarious. They get on Kendra's behind, and they get on the guests that come. And I like the fact that they even it out. They do men and women. They don't just stick to the women, even though they mostly react to the women because it's more women that come on there than men. But the way they clown people is top tier. I could just imagine them sitting at a buffet and just talking about everybody that they see because they are funny. They're just too funny. I love them. Anyways, they're called the Black Square One. So anyways, I'm watching them, and there was a lady that came on. She had glasses like mine. And the wife said, look at her with her EJ glasses on. EJ Johnson. Now, if you guys don't know, EJ Johnson is Magic Johnson's son, who thinks he's cuter than most women. He's that guy. And he's got glasses like these. And when she said that, I said, oh my God. I have glasses just like that. Don't call him the EJ Johnsons. Oh, I hate it. But that's okay. Somebody called them the Ashley Daltons, and I would prefer them to be called the Ashley Daltons, darling, okay? Even though I don't be up getting it up like Ashley Dalton, honey, because Ashley Dalton come with it every time. That woman is gorgeous. So we can keep calling these the Ashley Daltons. I'm not claiming EJ Johnson at all. What up, Juice? Look at Juice up. Juice ain't sleep yet. Are you ending your shift? Are you on your way home? Have you made it home safely? So this lady here, Chit Chat, I can't remember that lady's name. It's like on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. And it's really bothering me. Mama, I made it. That's not what this lady right here is screaming. Okay, look at her. Look at her. What you do now will affect you later. And I tell this to my son all the time. The decisions that you make now are going to always affect you later, right? This woman right here is crying because she has gotten denied from every apartment complex that she has applied for because she has a conviction on her record. A conviction or an eviction. I couldn't fully understand her, but it was either a conviction or an eviction, and she can't even get an apartment in the ones that consider your rent. What do you call those? Not rent controlled. They're based on your income. She can't even get an apartment in those. And while she was speaking, she even said, "Hey, go Cree Cree." She even said that the last job that she interviewed for, they decided not to go with her because of what's on her record. Young people, think about what you are doing when you are doing it. Let me borrow one of your planes. I know that's right. Prince Bud work at the airline. Let me borrow one of them planes, boy. I'm leaving the U.S. because this place done gotten crazy. Good morning, DRX. It's so good to see you. How are you? I used to tell my little brother all the time, because I'm 15 years older than my baby brother. And when he was younger and started acting up in school, I used to tell him all the time, kid, everything you do now is going to affect you later. He was acting up, getting suspended, fighting, just doing dumb stuff like pulling the fire alarm at school, just dumb stuff. And I said, boy, everything you do now is going to affect you later. And sure enough, the following year, he wanted to play football. They wouldn't let him because of his past transgressions at the school. They was like, oh, heck no, you problematic. Yeah. Number one, your grades ain't up. And number two, you a problem. And I said, see, I told you, everything you do now will affect you later. So young ladies, young men, think about the actions and the choices that you make now, because it's going to affect you later. If you can't pay rent, call the manager's office, set up arrangements, give something, but don't just neglect paying your rent, because that stuff is going to go on your credit. And guess what? It's going to affect you later. Everything that we do now will affect us later. Period. I see it happen all the time. Come to Thailand, Dominic? I need to. Kelsey says, is this New York? Because I can't get a job or a subsidies apartment or Section 8 or anything from an irresponsible choice in 2000. Dang. From 2008? That should have dropped off your credit long time ago. 2008, that's horrible. You might want to call whatever you need to. First of all, you guys can go online and get a copy of your credit report for free. If you guys go on annualcreditreport.com, you can download a credit report for free. I think you can do it once a year. They will provide the names of the people that have the negative mark on your credit, and a number and an address. Contact them and see what you can do to get that stuff off of your credit, because it's been so long. A lot of times they'll bargain with you. Say you owe $5,000, you can tell them, hey, all I got is 1,000. Will you take that? Sometimes they will take that. They just want something, you know? But this is a testament that what you do now is going to affect you later. It always does. There's so many things in my life that I've done that affected me later, and I knew it was because of the choices that I made, why certain things were happening to me at that current moment. But 2008, you can get that taken off. Call whoever it is, have them remove it, talk to them, see what you can get done. But I'm sorry you're going through that. Earlier, I posted Miss Mariota Coleman. If you guys go on Mariota Coleman's page on YouTube, she gave an encouraging word this morning. And if you were to see this woman's channel, you would have never known that she was homeless before. She is so put together, so beautiful, so God-fearing, like her spirit just oozes God and love, you know? And she always has a good word. And she's still, even though she's now on the up and God has blessed her so much, she still advocates for people that are struggling. You know, there's so many of us that come up and get what we need, and now we doing good in life, and we forget about where we came from. We forget about everybody else in the struggle. You know, we got what we need, so F everybody else. I'ma just do for me. No, 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 no. That's not the right way to be. Right? We still have to advocate for those that are unable to do what it is that God has blessed us to be able to do. But everything that you're going through it for a reason. I promise you that. You have to tap into the Most High to find out what it is that you got to change, things that you got to fix in order for Him to bless you. Slide through, slide through. Prince Bud, we missed you on Sunday night. Oh, Prince Bud, you weren't there? Kelsey says, I graduated in 06. Yep, everything we do in our lives will affect us later. Yeah, I'm a testimony of that. I promise you. DRX says, I'm doing good at work for a few hours today and not for the rest of the weekend. That's right. Y'all, I am so upset because I had all these plans. I was like, it's Memorial Weekend. This is usually when they open up the pools. It's been hot the last couple days, and then yesterday it got cold and started raining. I was like, wait. So I looked at the weather. It's supposed to rain the whole weekend. I'm like, man, what is really good? And isn't Memorial Weekend usually the very last weekend in May? Why are they doing it this weekend instead of next weekend? I'm so confused because I know next weekend is going to be hot. So I'm just like, okay, my plans were foiled. We were going to drive 2 hours away and go to the boardwalk. They have rides, go on the beach, all that. But I'm not going 2 hours away to deal with this because the weather is the same here and in Maryland and, North Carolina. It's all the same. So I'm just like, but I always look at these things as, there's a reason why, whether you guys believe that global warming is an effect or whether you believe that, they are messing with the weather. Either way, just know that God is always in control and everything happens for a reason. So when things like this happen, I always feel like God personally is protecting me from something that I have no idea about. Like there's a reason why. Like God don't want me on the road this weekend. There's a reason why. So I'm gonna make the weather bad so that she'll stay home. That's just how I roll. You know what I'm saying? This is what I be thinking. And I be right. Kelsey says everything you do. You guys got to remember that we are living in the spiritual world, right? We're not battling against flesh, other people in general. It's the spirits within them, the spirits behind them, right? That's what we're battling with. Everything is spiritual. Everything. Somebody cut you off, that's spiritual. That's teaching you patience and acceptance and tolerance, right? So that you can be blessed. Every time I decide to not to make a right decision rather than a bad, I get a blessing. No lie. And I'm not talking about material or whatever. Sometimes it do me material, sometimes it do me monetary. But at the end of the day, it's blessing me because it's teaching me to be a better person so that when I encounter something else similar or even more extreme, I'm able to handle it. You know, I make these decisions not to throw my life away based on a temporary emotion. And that's why a lot of people are in these situations that they're in right now, because they are doing things that is going to satisfy their ego and their flesh in the moment without thinking, ooh, I got a lot to lose. Ooh, I got this woman right here. She got kids that she's responsible for, but she can't get a place. She can't get a job, all because of her bad decisions, however long ago it happened. Everything you do now is going to affect you. I told this story before where I was driving to get my son some medication. I was coming back and there was this car behind me honking, but I couldn't make a left because the cars in front of me were coming this way and they had the right of way. I didn't have the right of way. The light didn't have the arrow pointing to the left. It was green. I could only go when I'm able to. They're honking, telling me to go, 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 go. So finally, I end up going. Halfway risking my life because I'm tired of them honking. So I was like, when they pull up, I'm a give them the business. Man, they pulled up beside me, right? Because they was mad. The car was blacked out. She rolled down her window, and I'm ready. I'm like, yeah, what you got to say, right? The look in this stud's eyes said, I have nothing to live for. I'm willing to risk it all. That right there was enough for my life to flash before my eyes, for me to remember, listen, you got to get back to your son. Is it worth it? I didn't have Blicky on me. I didn't have nothing on me. It was just me, a mom in a city with no family. And here is this local with crazy eyes. I said, you got it. You got it. Because it's number one, it's two of y'all and one of me. Sometimes you got to just stop and think and be realistic. We can't be delusional and think you can beat everybody and everything. No, 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 no. You got to be realistic. You have to live in reality. And the reality is, if we would have pulled over, I would have got my ass beat or something worse. I had no protection on me, right? Imagine if we had pulled over. And imagine if I did have my thing, I would have risked my life going to jail, losing all of my benefits, losing my child, losing my home. So sometimes instead of just satisfying your flesh, because my flesh was, I wanted to cuss back and forth and be like, well, what it is? There's a parking lot right here. Let's go. Like, this is what my flesh was telling me. But the spiritual side kicked in, my intuition, my gut, that fight or flight. I'm going to fly. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Because the decision that I could have made in that moment will affect me for the rest of my life or later on. We have to be very mindful of the things that we decide to do, the things that we decide to say. Prince Bus said he fell asleep. Kelsey says, well, if you already paid your debts off, Kelsey, you got to see what specifically it is that is holding you back from getting suitable housing, because that doesn't sound right. Something's not right. If all of your debts are paid, there should be nothing on your credit stopping you unless you have a criminal conviction. And that's another thing too, guys. You can have a criminal conviction and that right there, or an eviction, and that will affect being able to get hired, because if they see that on your record, you pose a risk. That's just like going in the military. If you have debts, the military can deny you because you're a threat. That means you are vulnerable to being bribed, blackmailed, or anything else because you need the money. And a lot of people that need money put themselves in desperate situations. because they need the money. Sometimes just to survive, and then sometimes because of greed. You can't, so a lot of people ain't gonna take that risk. If you already have a history of not paying your bills, why would I hire you? If you have a history of not paying your debts, why would I let you stay here? Because now you've established a pattern on how you conduct yourself. I'm not taking that risk. That's what a smart business owner would do. So you guys got to look at it from the other side. Not just based on your needs, but you got to look at the needs of people who are also trying to feed their families. Gary says maybe housing convicted her for something she did, or is the conviction criminal? Exactly. It could be a criminal conviction, or she may have damaged a property and now they have a lawsuit on her. You just never know. Exactly. We all learn the hard way, Cree. A lot of us have learned the hard way. A lot of us made some oh my God. I had a Target credit card that me and my ex had maxed out, and that stuff went on both of our credits. And that thing followed me all the way until I got into the military. I couldn't even get a star card. Everybody qualifies. I couldn't even qualify for a star card. That's the military exchange card. And I said, what is going on? Oh, that Target, you got to pay it off. We owe $300. By the time it was on my credit report and it was affecting me later on, like 4 years later, the interest had grown so much to where I owed like almost like $600 on that card, and I had to pay it off. But it was affecting me currently because it was things that I needed. I was moving out of the dorms. I needed to get a bed, because all of that stuff, when I went to the military, I gave all of that away. I gave my bed, my dresser, everything, my TV, I gave everything away. So I needed to replenish that stuff, and I wasn't getting paid that much when I first came in. So I needed that exchange card, and I couldn't get it. So yeah, everything that you do in life now will affect you later. Yeah, off for the weekend. It's holiday weekend. Good stuff. She said, that's how my family is. Yeah. You have to ask the Most High. Creepy says, I'm dealing with student loans from 20 years ago. My gosh. My mom was dealing with student loans too for a long time. My mom had student loans up until the day she died. And her student loans was from like the 90s or the 80s, maybe. Yeah, that stuff stays on your credit. And I think also when you guys file bankruptcy, student loans don't come off. Wouldn't that be the bomb if student loans came off when you file for bankruptcy? But it does not. It don't. So yeah, we got it. We just have to be mindful. Did you ever finish your degree in what you went to school for? Come out of your permissive will and state and reach into your divine will and state. That's right, Gary. It is going to be raining every day. I'm like, this is crazy. Not on a holiday week. I had plans, boy. Ooh, I had plans. Prince Bus said, damn, that's all bad. I think it's going to rain here too. Possibly. You're in Arizona, right? Yeah, these folks is crazy. A lot of people don't have any sense anymore, but that's because they're not tapped into God. People are living their best lives, thinking they doing they want to, without any consideration for the future. They're not thinking about the future. And unfortunately, it doesn't just affect them. It affects, the people they are around, their children, you know. They're not thinking about that. Because when you make bad decisions as a family member, now you come and burdening me with your issues and you want me to help you. And it's like, dang, why can't you just do right? Do right by yourself. But if you can't do right by yourself, You definitely not gonna do right by your children, by your family members, and it's annoying. Look at Michael Love. Hey, Michael Love. How are you? Are you going live early Sunday? Prince Bud says to Cree. Cree says everything comes off of bankruptcy except student. Everything but that. I know people be thinking and hoping and praying and wishing. Man, no, them things will stay with you. And it don't just be $5,000 or $10,000. People be owing $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And they know they can't pay that. You know? Look at Derek Gaines. Hey, Derek. How you doing? But if you're out there struggling, just keep your head up. I met a wise man once that said, if you are struggling, that's good. Good for you, because that means you're still in the fight. That means you haven't given up yet. Keep struggling until you can change your situation for the better. Keep struggling. You got it. That's a good thing when you're in the struggle. That means you feel and you understand everything. And now you can just really just stop and think about where you are in life and be realistic about where you are in life so that you can move forward. What did Cree say? She's going to try to go live a little earlier. That's on. Is that Sundays? Excuse me. Is it going to be Sunday that you're going to do the ladies panel? Or is it going to be next Wednesday? What did I don't know. Ain't nothing but God. God is in control. And you said this weekend? Nah. I also thought about this weekend too. When it comes to these holidays and people being off, that's when a lot of debauchery happens. I mean, there's a lot of debauchery around the world right now. People are dying left and right. People are warring right now, left and right. Our government is in some BS right now, and it's really ridiculous, But particularly here in the United States, whenever we have holiday weekends, it's always something that happens. Lots of people get shot. People start, just doing the most. So in a way, I'm grateful that it's going to be a rainy weekend because that means there's going to be less violence. So I'm actually okay with it. Me and my son will just find something else to do. Mike says, I'm not doing too well, working like a slave, 65 plus hours for the past 2 months. Whoa, that is a lot of work. I hope you're getting paid overtime. I hope you're getting that OT, man. I hope so. G says, get up so you can fight back. Winners don't quit and quitters never win. They never win. Absolutely. I didn't put the beach anywhere. It's still where it's at, doing its thing. I know, right? I am just like his winner. Yo, I'm so mad. I went outside this morning. I was like, oh, what is really going on? It was 80. It was like 92 3 days ago. The other day, I had my AC on, and I was actually considering turning on the heat last night. I said, I know you kidding. This bipolar weather. But I was cold this morning. I was like, I'm going to go to the gym. The gym is right across the street. I'm going to work out first, and then I'm going to be like, hey, by the way, I want to cancel my plan. You know how you go into work and you work the whole day, and then at the end of your shift, they talking about, this is your last day. They be foul for that. I appreciate you, Derek. No overtime in trucking, have to do more hazmat loads. Oh, okay. Well, I know you're getting paid for having that hazmat license because everybody can't pull them loads. You got to have a particular license or certification in order to pull that hazmat stuff. So shout out to you. Shout out to the truckers. Shout out to the transportation industry. If it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't have this coffee in this cup right now. If it weren't for y'all, I wouldn't have gas. If it weren't for y'all, etc., etc., etc. So salute to you guys. Shout out to you being on the road. My brother-in-law is a trucker as well, you know. And the one company that he worked for, he was just venting to me one day, and he was just like, they foreigners and they be trying to slave drive you, talking about you should be there quicker, you need to get there within the next 2 hours. And he's like, no, I'm gonna take my time because I'm driving through the mountains. I'm not about to be speeding down no hills to drop this load off in the time you want me to. No, my life is more important. I said, I know that's right, brother. So if you got to pull over because your time is up, you done already drove your 10-hour shift and now it's time for you to park, otherwise you gonna get fined, do what you gotta do. He said, I am. Because these people will try to slave drive you and all that stuff so that, they can make more money so you can get back on the road and go get this load and then drop that off. No, sir. No, ma'am. To all my truckers out there, safety comes first. You got to make it home to your families. That's what you got to do. So I appreciate you. If nobody else told you, truckers, I appreciate ya. Oh, whoa, you had snow last week, Prince Bud? That's crazy. This is crazy. Anthony says her stream feel like being trapped in a FaceTime call. That's funny. Oh man, it do feel like I'm just on the phone with y'all. Yeah, be safe, especially with that hazmat. What up, Jeremy? Glad someone appreciate. A lot of us appreciate you. Of course we do. Absolutely. What do they say? Truckers are the backbone of America's consumerism. I appreciate y'all. Mike says, thanks, Mo. That just made me feel better because I understand. Absolutely, you understand. Yeah. At this point, CDL should be sponsoring the stream. I know that's right. CDL's our sponsor in the stream. Shout out to the truckers. DRX says, my dad and brothers were truckers. Much respect. That's right. My stepdad was a trucker. I told you guys he was an awesome provider. He did some unscrupulous, ungodly things, but at the end of the day too, he was a provider. That man spoiled us. We wanted for nothing. Okay. And he was a trucker. He worked for Schneider. And I remember one time my sister wasn't there for some reason. I don't know where my sister was, but it was me, my mom, and my stepdad. We went to LA because they were having a banquet for the truckers. Schneider put on a banquet for the truckers, and they acknowledged certain truckers, for the good deeds and stuff like that. And we were in LA, and anytime we went out of town, whether it be Vegas, because we're from San Diego, and we would always drive to Vegas, and to go to Circus. We get a room, a hotel, Circus. So me and my sister had our own room, and my mom and stepdad had their own room. But this time it was just me. I had my own room, and then my mom and stepdad had their own room. But we went to LA for a truckers convention or a truckers banquet, and I'll never forget that. It was really, really nice. I don't think he was presented with anything. He didn't get an award or anything, but just the fact that he went, you know what I'm saying, was really cool. Um, but yeah, he was with Schneider for years. I don't know if he still drives for them or not. But yeah, shout out to the truckers. I remember that. Do not miss your exit. Not on purpose either. Gotta love Colorado. She turned trucking into a horrible personality. Anthony, you are funny. Always Creek, Colorado is always insane. Oh, is that where you are, Prince Bud? I thought you were in Arizona. You're in Colorado. You out there with Couch. When we buy membership, I don't have my memberships activated because I don't know. I don't feel like making specific content for our members. I feel like if I do a membership and people actually subscribe to my membership, then I feel like I would have to do something specifically for members. And I also feel like the grimy side of me would come out if I had to do videos specifically for members. Like I feel like that would be my opportunity to go in the way my flesh would want me to. Um, and so that's one reason why I have not activated memberships on this channel. I should activate memberships and just do all Bible study videos for members, but everybody needs, to hear the word of God, you know. Michael Love says, do it. Just do it for us. Hey, Megan. Okay, so you moved to Colorado. Nice. I used to watch this show. I don't remember if it was on I know it was not Netflix. It must have been Prime, about this detective who spoke about all of his most heinous crimes that he would solve. I can't remember his name, but it was a good show. And it was all about the things that happened in Colorado. And he had some really good, and like his memory was, he was an older gentleman. He'd been retired at this point for some years now, but he was recounting all of these cases. And the fact that he could remember everything. Now, I was laying in bed with my wife and I reached over and there was the phone. He said he just never got a break. And I believe this was did y'all hear that? Must have been a pine cone. Um, Boulder or Denver, but a lot of action out there. A lot of action, a lot of crime. And but I always wanted to go to Colorado. That was gonna be the next place that I go when I was in the military. That's where I wanted to try next. That's one place in the US that I have not been that I want to go, but my son has mild asthma, so I don't think that would be best for him because I hear so many stories of people that get that not decompression sickness. What is it called when you go in there and the elevation is so high? So that's one reason why we haven't gone yet, but it's on my bucket list. Good morning, Megan. DRX says, I always thought Prince Bud was from Cali. Oh, okay. He gives you Cali vibes. What'd he say? Nilutu said, I ain't paying for the gospel. He said, girl, bye. Oh, man. I know that's right. You can open up your Bible and read it for yourself. But let me mess around and make a membership. That's what it's going to be. Okay. Derek says, I'm trying to take care of you, but you hard-headed. Activate the memberships. I appreciate that. Prince Bus says, I was born in Cali. That's what's up. What part of Cali? Derek said he's born in Cincinnati. You're still in Cincy, right? Born and raised? Ever thought about leaving? Oh, you go to Cali to watch the Chargers play? Yeah, I'm thinking about what we're going to do when I get out there. Because football season won't be started by the time, but I might take him to a Padres game if it is baseball season. My dad used to take us to Padres games all the time. I remember my big Padres glove that I used to have. I wish I still had some of that stuff, man, from my childhood. I have one thing from my childhood, and it is a little t-shirt that I used to wear, and it had the arms cut out, and it was like a picture of a gym, and I kept that t-shirt forever. It was like a sweatshirt, but like a t-shirt with the sweater material. But yeah, my dad used to take us to Padres game. Back then, Padres games was like $5 to get in, you know what I'm saying? So he would take us out there. And that's when it was called the Jack Murphy Stadium. But that stadium name has changed so many times. It became the Qualcomm Stadium. Then it became AT&T Stadium, I think. No, that's in Maryland. I don't know, but I miss that. Derek ain't never leaving Cincinnati. Wow. No, it's not about, it's my son's books that I have to return. Oh, yes. That right there. So it just kind of goes in line with my topic, what you do now will affect you later. And I was listening to One Generation Church online last night. They were having Bible study and it was really, really good. And it was talking about changing your fruit, checking the fruit, check the fruit, check your fruit rather. Um and basically what that means is what's here on the inside, right? What seeds are you sowing, right? What seeds are we sowing? And Psalms has a really, really good message in the first. It says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the course of the ungodly. Blessed is the man that not walk in the course of the ungodly." When you walking with the ungodly, there's no blessings to come from that. When you doing what you want to do instead of what you should be doing, what God commands us, absolutely not. The whole purpose for that Bible study was for us to look inward and to see where we are in life and what exactly are we producing. Are we producing good fruit or are we producing bad, rotten fruit? That's also why the Bible talks about being equally yoked. You're not supposed to be unequally yoked. And I'm not just talking about partnerships, intimate relationships. This is just in life. You guys remember I was talking about one of my neighbors that I've come kind of close to who keeps gossiping about one particular person? I have to stay away from that, you know? Last night she offered to come over and to pick up something that I borrowed from her, but I said, "No, I'm gonna just send Bishop down there and return it to you that way," because I already knew what was gonna happen. I already foresee, because like we talked about before, people have patterns. And when a person shows you over and over again who they are, you have to believe it. So I already knew that if she was to come down, we would have been outside smoking and she would have been gossiping and it would have been the whole thing over and over again. And I ain't got time for that, right? So the Bible says, don't walk in ungodly. And I'm not calling her an ungodly person. I'm saying some of the actions that I have been able to see are not what God commands us to do. And when you hang around people that are doing the opposite of what it is that you want to do and where you want to be in life, it's going to taint you, period. A lot of us aren't strong enough to be in certain circles with certain things and are surrounding ourselves with other people and not be able to become like them. A lot of us are just really weak, you know? The wise ones peep it, clock it, and they keep it moving. So you can't be unequally yoked. You can't be around people that could taint your spirit. Period. Oh, you from Orange County? Okay. Anaheim. Anaheim. That's where Disneyland is, right? Or Magic Mountain is in Anaheim. You guys do have a lot of professional sports teams out there. That's one of the things Joe used to tell me all the time. He said, you make sure that whenever you relocate, you move to a place that has professional teams, because the city is going to put money into that city, so you have better infrastructures and more things to do and things to accommodate, tourists and things like that. So you always want to make sure that you move to a place that has professional sports teams. Jack Murphy Stadium was when Dago Pro Sports was good to go. Yep. Padres and Chargers tickets were affordable in high school CIF championships. Yep. Qualcomm Stadium was the San Diego Chargers of the football stadium. Okay. Hey, Scorpio Mama, how are you? How you doing? Yeah, God don't backbite. Absolutely. Right. So we don't want to be walking in the presence of those who are ungodly. because it's going to taint our fruit. It's going to taint our seed that's within us, right? The seed has to get planted, and what comes out of that is what we put into it. So if the seed ain't no good, guess what? You're not going to see no results of that fruit, period. Right? It also says, nor standeth in the way of sinners. You don't want to stand in the way. You don't want to be around, because again, it's going to taint you. If you comfortable around people doing stuff, you got to check yourself. That means you're not relying on God, period. If you comfortable in mess, if that makes you feel good, there's something wrong. You got to turn to the Most High. Because sometimes I do like sitting in some mess. I do like hearing some gossip or whatever. But at some point, the closer you get to God and the deeper your relationship grows, the more you start to detest such things. It makes you feel uncomfortable on the inside. You know? So you don't want to stand in the way, and you don't want to stand around and with and within active sinners, people that have a reprobate mind, that know what they're doing and they don't give a damn. Let them do them, because guess what? God has a plan for them. They have to learn when they are supposed to, right? We don't want to stand in the way of somebody. Go ahead, do what you got to do. I'm going to pray for you, right? Speak life into them and then move out the way. So I love this psalm. I've never read this psalm before until last night. It says, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Disneyland, yeah. That's where I'm taking my son when we go up to Cali. I went to Disneyland on my 12th birthday and I never forgot it. It was so nice. My birthday is on New Year's Eve. And so we got there probably close to dusk. And I just remember having the best time. I thought to myself, Mom, I'm too old to be going to Disney. I told her, we're too old to go. Man, we had the best time. Oh, me and my sister had a blast. And I remember the fireworks going off at midnight and everything. It was so cool. So I'm going to take my son. I don't know if they do fireworks every night at Disneyland, but I'm going to take him. I was either deciding Disneyland or Universal Studios. I can't remember which one I was deciding, but I definitely want to take him on a tour of the star of the like celebrities and stuff. He loves getting on those double-decker buses and stuff like that. So I know we're going to do that for sure. But it's either going to be Universal Studios or Disneyland. Either way, I know it's going to cost me a pretty penny. So, and I definitely got to hit up the Slauson Swap Meet. That used to be my spot. Every time we went to LA, we went to the Slauson Swap Meet. But I don't know if Slauson is the same as before. Excuse me, y'all. Hey, Thunder! What up, Thunder? Birds of a feather flock together. Absolutely. When you put yourself in the company of those who are scornful and bitter and are bearing no fruits, all you got to do is look at the source, right? I read a saying the other day that says a wise man is usually speaks last. He lets the other person get off what it is that they need, right? Let them vent, let their talk, let them whatever. And then you speak. Because what that person is going to say is going to be very important and relevant to what has already been said. And usually that person is going to speak life into you. But when you got people that want to cut you off and they always got so much to say and they're too busy talking rather than listening, you got to remember too, you can tell what type of fruits a person is bearing, not based on material or what they have in their possession, right? You could tell based on what it is that they speak, because what's in the heart, the Bible says what's in the heart is going to come out of the mouth. So when you have people that are scornful and vengeful and hold grudges and can't let go, it's going to eventually come out of their mouth in the words that they speak. Are they speaking life into you, or are they talking down? You got to be mindful of that. Because when you sit around people that are scornful, you stay in the presence of those who are scornful, it's going to rub off on you. Like Scorpion Mama said, birds of a feather. Once you peep how that person is, you have to move away because they're going to infect you. One rotten apple will spoil the bunch. That's how that works. That's what unequally yoked is, right? Unequally yoked. It is so important I watch these dating shows, Pop the Balloon and all those, right? And you'll see a lot of women on there who are Christian or say that they're Christian or trying to improve their Christian walk. And they'll ask the gentleman, do you believe in God? Do you believe in Jesus Christ? And I love the fact that most people on there are pretty honest about their beliefs. A lot of people say, well, I'm spiritual, or I don't believe in just one God, or, I believe in this deity, so on and forth, right? And you see a lot of women that will settle for a man who will say, I have a spiritual relationship, and I have my views on Jesus, um, but I go to church, and a lot of them are like, well, that's good enough for me. Okay, you believe in God, good. It's like they're checking a box, but they're not really figuring out if that man has a relationship with God. You can believe in something, but do you have relationship with it? Hey, A team. Yeah, folks know when they're wrong. They know when they're wrong. At our big age, people know what they're doing. So you can't just say, oh, they know not what they do. No, at this big age, they've been introduced to the Most High and they know right from wrong, right? Our conscience will tell us when something is right or wrong, and they continue to do it anyway, right? So when people know what they're doing, you got to move away. But a lot of women on these Pop the Balloons and all of these shows and stuff will settle for a man who says he's Muslim, or for a man that says he's spiritual, and he'll have all these nose piercings and face tattoos, and he might look good and might look like he got money. So they're like, okay, I'm going, you know? But you can't, a woman specifically, more than anybody, can't be unequally yoked. You know why? Because a woman, for the most part, cannot lead a man. So even if you are Christian and you are in your Bible and you get with this man because he's fine or he can provide, but he's not on the same level as far as your relationship with the Most High, your faithfulness in God is not going to bring that man with you, because the man is supposed to lead. So if the man is down here on his walk and you're all the way here, you can be friends with him until he reaches this, but there's no way you can bring him up to you. Yes, you can be of encouragement, and yes, you can be an example, but more than likely, that man is going to slowly bring you, because he's the leader. So if he's leading your household and your life, and everything that you do is surrounding that man, I'm speaking to the male-centered women, and even women that desire to have a man. Like Miss Marietta says, her mama always told her, a man is good to have, but if you don't have it, you got to do what you got to do. So if you can't get that man that's down here, or you see, okay, we're actually unequally yoked, there's nothing I can do for you. I can pray for you, and hopefully, one day you will rise to here, to where I can see you like this, and then I can come here, and then we both together riding this thing out. But if he's down here, you can't pull him up, because he's the man. Women don't lead men. Men are the leaders. So if you are a woman and you desire a man who is down here, he's going to bring you down here. And next thing you know, you're not reading your Bible no more. You're not going to church. You're not walking in that spirit. You right here with him. Now, maybe when you get down to this level, he might turn his way around, and then he can pull you up to here where y'all need to be. But for a woman specifically, a woman definitely should never, ever, ever, like, if you are a true Christian and you really want to live this godly life, and you really want to make sure that your soul is up there and not down there, you have to be careful of the partners that you pick. And I tell you what, the closer you get to God, or at least for me, the closer I've gotten to God, it's made it really, really hard for me to settle down with somebody because there's a lot of men out here that aren't into the Bible. They aren't into God. They aren't into, service work and a lot of that stuff. There are some men, there are some good men out there that love the Lord. But even when I go on to the chats and I'm watching, godly content, it's 95% women, that are learning and studying and getting themselves approved for God. It's not a lot of men. So it's hard, you know? But I can't lead a man. We can have good conversation, and if he's, on that same level, that's great. And then we could work together. Um, but sometimes it's hard to find. Hey, Chelsea Lynn. Oh, she done changed it to Coach Chills. That's what's up. That's what's up. Now we need an updated profile pic. Okay. I love that pic that you had on your stream the other day. I was in your stream, but I didn't say hi because I didn't feel like typing saying hi to everybody. So sometimes if I'll be in a chat and I'll just be watching, but I won't say hi because I don't feel like typing But you had a picture of yourself that was oh so cute. I was like, Chelsea Lynn, if we could see you up close like this, Chelsea Lynn be this far, all the way back on the screen. We can't really see her. But Chelsea Lynn is cute as heck. So we need a new updated photo with your hat. Maybe a picture of you with your hat hula hooping. That would be funny. Yes. Prince Bus says, man, I went when I was 16, 17, and I still had a blast. Disneyland is so cool. I thought I was too old. My mama said, I'll show you. You'll see. Disney has a 4-park for $104 package. Where? I was thinking about going on base to see if the MWR has some deals for me, because they usually have good military discount. But if they have a 4-park for $104 package, I'm gonna go on their website and look. I want to get the package where you can skip the lines too. I think that's like an extra $80 or something. But I think it might be worth it, Happy Friday. Facts, Thunder says. Yeah. Prince says, oh, I got a busy weekend. That's good. Busy is good. Thunder says, I always wondered, why do they want to keep you around? Is it to make you like them, or is it that they want someone around that won't knock their head off of their shoulders when the BS comes? Yeah, that's a good point. We have to look inward and look at our intentions and our motives, and that's what the pastor was talking about. Checking our motives, checking our intentions, checking our seed, what's inside of us. Because he was also saying sometimes a person can look good on paper and then you meet them in person and it's like, this ain't what I thought it was, because you present this way online, but yet when I see you in person, I don't get none of that, So you always have to wonder why a person chooses what they choose, and a lot of times it's insecurity, you know, I think. And sometimes we don't think we could do better, you know? But I don't like people that use other people. The last 2 relationships that I was in, those men were users and I allowed them to, you know? Um, and so it's easy for me to spot, and it's like, well, dang, that's when I realized there's something about me that was attracting men that thought it was okay to use me, because prior to that, I had been with men that spoiled me and treated me good. So it's like, well, what am I doing wrong now that's attracting these type of men? And what is it in me that is allowing this to happen? And I could see it straight on. Like, wow, this person really think, okay, bet. And all you got to do is just sit back and let a person talk, because what's in here is going to come out of the mouth. And that's when I discovered, okay, they're only here for me for these benefits, not because they actually like me, you know? And that was a tough pill to swallow, you know? It was a tough pill to swallow. But I had to do what I had to do, and I had to get them. They had to get on up out of here. They had to. One lasted 60 days. I said, "What am I doing?" I remember my ex said, "Dang, Mo cannot keep a man," and you damn right, I can't and won't. I can't and won't. If it ain't for me, it ain't for me. I will fire him in a heartbeat and not think twice about it and keep it moving. DRX says, "So far so good. I work for a few hours. After that, I'm off." Yep. Coach Shell says, "When they say I'm spiritual, I'm like, be more specific, because demons believe too." Amen. Let's unpack this right quick. Your spirit, what does that entail? Does that entail crystals and beads and tarot? And come on now. I watched a guy say, they was like, "Well, what did you do to try to help the relationship? Like, if things were going south, what did you do?" He said, he said, "I paid an oracle to," he said, "we did palm readings and everything so that I could figure out what I'm doing wrong." I said, people are lost. And if you're a woman, you don't want to be attached to that at all, because he's going to bring you down at his level, because the man is supposed to lead. Muslims is the worst. I've met some really good Muslims. My cousin is Muslim, and I tell you what, I've met some of the most kindest Muslim men ever. These men have so much patience and wisdom, and just the temperament of who they are is just beautiful. Um, and so that's also where tolerance and acceptance comes in at, you know. Um, Meeting people that don't believe in Jesus really, but they're so rooted in what they believe in because they were raised that way, or this religion was the most comforting to them, and this is the religion that brought them the closest to the Most High. We just have to pray for them, you know. Um, but on a surface level, yeah, they are some of the gentlest and understanding people from my experience. Yeah, they don't listen to conviction. Something that's telling you this ain't right. Like me, I knew. And a 23-year-old had to snap me out of it one day and was like, "Why are you with this guy? He offers nothing. But here you are doing like what?" And I said, "Dang it, she's right. What am I doing? I was just settling. I was just doing too much. Desperation." Scorpio Mama says he stole all my money from the divorce. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened. That really sucks. Gary Brown says, "Oh, we need to have this conversation a later time." Mm-hmm. Yeah. Please expound on it. That would be really good. Thunder says, "When I was in my 20s, I fought a buddy of mine when I grew tired of the disrespect." Absolutely. This fool had the nerve to ask, "So you gonna like me to provoke you into hitting me in the mouth?" And I said, "Yes." "So you like me provoking you into hitting me in the mouth?" So he was provoking. Yeah. We're not supposed to provoke people to do evil. That's a sin. So when people do that, they know what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose because they want to see you act up. We have to be careful of the company we keep. That's just like the young lady that I was showing before. You know, she was surrounding herself with evildoers. She was surrounding herself around people that was condoning her BS. Whatever conviction she got on her record, she was surrounded by people that was okay with that. And guess what? She ain't got nobody that she can lean on right now. If she's not able to find a place before she's put out, Do you think any of those people that was around her while she was getting those convictions on her record, you think they're gonna be around to pick up the pieces to help her out? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Men are the anchor. Yeah. God is my anchor, but shoot, if I get me a man, he better be able to stand on the principles of the Lord to help us get through, because a lot of us have lessons to be learned. There's things that I prayed about to God that still haven't come to fruition, but that's because I know he's working in me. There's something I still haven't gotten yet that I need to get in me in order for him to bless me in that way. And that's what we have to look at, our struggles. There's something that God is trying to teach you. There's something that God wants to deliver you from. Thunder says, then he asked me what's wrong with me that I shouldn't like words provoke me. And I said he shouldn't let his words get his exactly. Don't let your words write you a check your butt can't cash. I know that's right. Words are very powerful. Very powerful. We have to be careful of the things that we say. Absolutely. What up, BDBGP? People will tell you what's in their heart based on what the words that they say. Speak life into me. Don't talk about me. Pray for me. You know? Nastern. Why is every live about men? What's going on? Is this another man-hating stream? How you feeling? How you living? Willie says most men rather learn the Bible on their own. Too many shady churches. Absolutely. And I don't see nothing wrong with that, because you have a lot of teachers out there, a lot of people that proclaim to be teachers that aren't proclaim to be preachers. And it's like, oh, this person calls himself a pastor, yet all of their videos are about talking about other pastors or reacting to things that happen in the church. Where's the learning? Where's the lessons? People are so concerned with what other people are doing versus filling their own spirit, versus teaching the word. If your whole video is about what another man or woman is doing, then you need to re-examine yourself. And I strongly doubt you're a pastor, because the people that I consider pastors, they get in the word. They teach the word. They don't come online blasting other pastors. That's not the premise of their channel. Their channel is to teach and to preach. But you got so much to say about what a woman wears to church and not wear, and the controversy behind that. Ain't got time. So I don't blame a lot of men for staying out of these new age churches, these churches that preach nothing but prosperity. You give me $1,000, sow a seed, and God's gonna bless you with $1 million. I need $1,000 right now. It's crazy, and it's so obvious, and it's so blatant, and people continue to show up. And a lot of men, real men, see the play and they stay away, you know, and that's okay. Until you can find a church home where you're actually being fed the word, I think it's okay to read your Bible and get you a study Bible. That way you can get further understanding of what it is that you're reading, you know, and find somebody that you do trust, that you know is God-fearing, that understands the Bible, and go to them with questions. But at this time, there's too many churches that are corrupt, and they are building up churches as businesses, which I can kind of see. When you get so much money, you kind of have to operate in a certain way. But they're doing ungodly things with this money, and they're taking advantage of a lot of people. But at the end of the day, God has the final say. So I try not to worry about that too much, because the Most High will have his way. Disneyland is a hustle. Universal Studios is better. Yeah, I went to Universal Studios. Shoot, I got a picture of me and my ex. it was good and bad at the same time, because this was the one day I asked him to not smoke. I said, can you please just not smoke no weed this whole day, baby? Just please, just one day. That was the worst mistake of my life. He woke up smoking. He was on the toilet smoking. He smoked on his lunch break. He went to bed. Smoking was him. That's all he did. So for him to not do it that day, I was miserable. Oh, we got a picture of us standing there, and he's standing like this. And I'm just standing there next to him like, we went to Universal Studios that day. Horrible mood. Attitude off the chain. He picked a fight every 10 minutes because he needed that. He was addicted. His body, he was going through a physiological effect of not having the smoke. And I said, at the end, I said, baby, I'm so sorry. I should have never told you not to smoke. But I just wanted him to take a break from it, you know? Like just one day, just not smoke. I didn't know. I didn't know the effects. But you live and you learn. But yeah, Universal Studios was fun besides that. That's where I found out that Coming to America was filmed in Burbank and not in New York. I was like, yo, because Coming to America is still one of my favorite movies. The original, not the second one. The sequel is trash. But the first one, oh my God, I can recite every line from that movie. That's why I need to get back in Bible and this word more, because I need to be able to recite scriptures over movies. I can recite everything from New Jack City, that movie. I know every line by line. I know any Martin episode. I could tell you what's Gina about to say, what Martin about to say. Coming to America, I know every line. Right? Randy Watson. He's my favorite character in that movie, by the way. But that's when I realized that they filmed Coming to America in Burbank, California. I said, I know you lying this whole time. I thought they was in Africa. I thought they was in Zamunda. I thought they was in Queens, New York. So it was a good and bad day at Universal. Yeah, it'll be worth it. Oh, Cedar Point has more thrills. That's in Ohio, right? I lived in Ohio. That was my first duty station day in Ohio, and I never made it to Cedar Point. Lloyd C. Boughton. Hey, good morning. Yeah, A-Team said that was a great. I took so many notes, A-Team. I got my journal out and I started writing, and I took a lot of notes about checking the fruit. Very, very good stuff in there. All that guy, he's really good. I like him. And I like the way he teaches, because my son can listen to him and fully understand too. So that's what I like about him too. But I like One Gen Church. And he sat there in DeSoto, Texas. DeSoto, Texas was one of those places that I looked up maybe a couple years ago. I said, what are good neighborhoods that have nice families, nice black, where I think I typed in Google, a good place to raise a black family. And DeSoto, Texas was on there. But when I went to Texas 2-3 years ago, the temperature was too hot. There was no way. Maybe when I was younger, I could deal with it, because I lived in San Angelo, Texas for 3 years before I relocated back to Cali. And I could deal with the heat, right? But I guess now that I'm older, absolutely not. The temperature was between 111 and 114 the whole time I was there. And I went to Dallas, Fort Worth. I was in San Antonio, and I was in Houston. And I said, absolutely no. I can't do this. I can't. Tomorrow is the battle. I had 6 p.m. down, but it's 7 p.m. Yeah. So unless there's unfortunate events that happen, I should be there. The representation always shows up. Yep, absolutely. They can look good on paper, but after you get to hearing them and talking to them, right? And eventually what's in the heart is going to come out, and you're going to start to peep things, and you just have to have you have to have discernment. If you don't have discernment, you're going to miss a lot of stuff. You're going to miss a lot of stuff. Rely on your relationship with the Most High to talk to you and tell you who's for you and who ain't. They were lessons, absolutely. Gary Brown says sometimes a physical attraction blocks you from your discernment attributes. That's right. Absolutely. We too busy looking at, oh, he's 6 feet, he got 6 figures, and he got 6 inches, overlooking that whole everything else. Crazy, right? Because we're looking what our what up, nine? Not the pretty boy Floyd. Prince Bus says, y'all see me on Cree and Ty Pro. I'm the same jolly smiling cornball. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people claim to be who they are, but when you meet them in person, sometimes it's different. And that's the thing. When you're dealing with these personalities online, you just never really know what you're dealing with until you start to learn them on a deeper level. There's people I've met on here that I've spoken to in person, and I realize, oh, okay, this is not somebody that I should be connected to. This is not somebody that I need to create a further bond with, because on one online, they appear to be one way, and maybe we're only looking at it through a certain lens, and then when you talk offline and you learn more, it's like, okay, we gonna keep this to just online. And sometimes that's just how it has to be, but we have to be tapped in order to even understand or feel that, right? Yeah, people don't listen to conviction, but they'll listen to a convict. Easy. Easy. Facts. Okay, Scorpio mama. Oh, he said, let me provoke you. See? And some people are so bold enough to tell you what it is that they're doing. Don't take it as a joke. People will tell you who they are. And when they do, you gotta believe them the first time. The first time. Don't let them continue to show you over and over again. Hey, Lee Turner. Hey, DOI. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you for your service. Thank you so much for your support. Yes. Shout out to all of the veterans that paid the ultimate price, all of the POWs, all of that. I'm going to take my son to the cemetery, the veteran cemetery down here. They even have the website set that there is it's got some oh my god, what's the highest honor? Medal of Honor recipients, and there's an African American male. There's a section for him, that he did some great stuff during wartime. But anyways, I'm still just showing reverence for all of our fallen soldiers, all of them that paid the ultimate price. Shout out to you. May God bless their souls. It's not easy being a patriot. Anytime you sign on that dotted line, you literally are taking a risk of dying. I know people personally who have died while serving. One of them is in our history books. We read about her when we're testing for rank. Um, but there's so many that they gave their life and paid the ultimate price. And so that's what Memorial Day is about, you know? Gary says a lot of people pray for things they aren't ready for. Absolutely. God will put you in position to show you how you're not ready and will strengthen you to receive what you ask for. Who are you telling? You preaching to the choir right here now, Gary. I be thinking something working out, and then whoop. It's like, nope. Psych. Because you're still vulnerable. You're not ready for this blessing yet. And God will show me every time. And I'll be like, dang. Come on, Lord. I've strengthened myself in this area, but nope, maybe not. Wisdom. Don't talk about me. Show me where I lack so I can work towards change. That's right. Some of these people are selling their homes. Where is that written? Seek God for yourself. Seek God for yourself. You have to. Selling your home so that you can give to the man of God in the pulpit? What seeds has he sown? What's the fruit of him? I want to see what fruits you have produced. Rather than just listening to you, what fruits have you produced for me to sow into? Come on now. Then it says he had the mentality of, I'm not responsible for how you react to what I say, instead of being responsible for what is said and accepting whatever comes with it. There's so many people that are like that. So many people that are like that. They just say whatever's on their mind because they just got to get it out, not caring about how the other person responds to it. And that's wrong. We're not supposed to antagonize each other. But people will antagonize you and then say, hey, I'm not responsible for how you act. Now your feelings are involved. Now you're getting emotional. And the whole time they've been antagonizing and poking and poking and poking until you just couldn't do nothing else. There's demonic spirits behind those type of people. And it's best to just stay away. Rather than allow them to continue to antagonize you, just move away. I deal with these people all the time. And I see the play. I see the play. And I just sit back and look. And I try not to be bothered. And I ask God for strength to help me to not respond the way that they want me to. Because people will do and say things because they're baiting you. They want you. Come on, I need somebody to fight with. I need this. Don't give them the satisfaction. You're just feeding their flesh, right? But when you starve their flesh, oh, they hate it. And that is the most satisfying thing. So just ignore it. Yeah, that'd be wild to ask for when the most don't even have it. They don't even have it, but you asking for $1,000 for a seed for God to bless you. God's not going to bless you with more because you're giving $1,000 to a man who's just using it to go get more drip. No, God wants us to be responsible for what he gave us, right? We talk about Cain and Abel. One did what he was supposed to do. The other one didn't. One gave what God commanded. The other one gave the scraps. That's what you want to present to the Most High? What? Mm-mm-mm. Mm-hmm. A-Team says, Prince Bed, I'm a cornball also, and I love it here. I can be authentic and transparent. I only know how to, all you know is how to be you. That's it. You can only be you. You can't be nobody else. We can only pretend for so long, but at some point, the real you will emerge. People act like they are for you, act like they care about you, act like they respect you, but eventually they will show you who they really are. Then, what do you do with it once you see that? The pastor on the live, what did he say last night, A-Team? Don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be afraid to remove yourself from something that's not working for you. If your spirit is feeling some kind of way, you got to remove yourself. Period. That's not saying that we think we're perfect or that we better. We just know where we need to be and where we should not be, regardless of how that person feels about it. If what that person is producing, putting out ain't working for you, you got to move away. There's so many people that I've had to remove myself from. I didn't want to, and it hurts so bad. But God was telling me, if you want to get closer to me, you have to remove that person from your life. You have to. It was so hurtful, especially when there's familiarity and there's love there. I miss my friends. I do. But I knew in my heart of hearts what I had to do. This is not a dig on them. This is not to say that they were ungodly or that they were doing. It was just there was something spiritually that was going on, and that God was talking to me and telling me, Mo, If you want to if you want to elevate in this area, they have to go. And as hard as it was, I fought with it for months and months and months. And I felt like the stronger I was fighting, the stronger that person was pulling towards me. And one day I just woke up and said, "Okay, God, I got it," you know? But at the end of the day, people will show you who they are. And you can also look at the fruits that they bear, the fruits that they produce based on what's in their heart and based on their connection to the Most High, based on their level of submission, the things that they say and do and how it affects you. It's really not that hard to tell. Really, all you got to do is just listen to people. If you just listen, they'll tell you who they are, really. You know what I mean? My great uncle passed away in Vietnam at 18. Oh, salute to him, Chelsea Lynn. Oh, may God bless his soul. Yes, yes. He paid the ultimate price. Just a baby out there. Anime nerds. Somebody call my mama. What? Scorpio mama. Yeah, Richard says, I sitteth in the center seat once. Absent. We all, listen, none of us are perfect. We all sin. That's why it's important to ask God for forgiveness every day, because sometimes we may have sinned and didn't even realize it. Sometimes I'll be praying and I'll ask God, please, God, forgive me for anything, any sins that I may have committed, anything I may have said or done that was not of you. And immediately something will come back to me like, oh, dang it. I sure did do that today. I sure did keep that lady's pen. I sure did. You know what I'm saying? So it helps us to be, when we're convicted and we ask for forgiveness, that is supposed to spark change. We're supposed to make a living amends and do better moving forward. My problem is sometimes I'll commit a whole new offense, a whole new sin. Like, dang, okay, I didn't overcame that. But now, hey, whoever sent those, thank you. Thank you so much. Now I gotta battle this because got to learn. We got to learn, and we just got to do better. Those little kids are so freaking cute. Ooh, I'll be having baby fever. Y'all be seeing the cutest kids. Oh, your daughters are so cute. Adorable. Oh, they were so cute wearing the little pink. And they just mind. They're like, come on this way. Don't walk into the, and they just like little sheep being led, right? Little sheep being led. That's what we're supposed to do as parents. Guide our children. Guide them the right way. Not based on our past, you know, based on what we see in the world and what we need to shield them from. It's a lot of work being a parent. I ain't even gonna hold you. Thanks, CDT, for cutting them off, living in the, I don't know what they said. I almost clicked on it to see what they said, but I'm gonna let it be. But yeah, we all sit in the center seat. Ain't nobody perfect. We all F up, right? But doing the next right thing, that's what's gonna draw us closer to God. And then the next time we're confronted with something like that or something of a more extreme value, we're able to handle it a little bit better. And the tougher things come up, the tougher that we're able to fight it in battle. I've been through so much in life, period. A lot of you have, right? But I promise you, these last 4 years that I've been sober and my relationship with the Most High is strengthened tenfold. When I look back on the relationship I had with God, you could just laugh at it and just call it a joke because it wasn't even a relationship. It was me calling on Him only when I needed something. Now I appreciate the mundane things, like the fact that it's going to be raining this weekend rather than sunlight. I can appreciate that. I would have never been able to appreciate that, nothing like that 10 years ago, right? But now I understand more. I appreciate more. God is my source, period. A-Team says, I love nature. I get high from sunrise, sunsets, planting, oceans, just basking in the beauty of God. Absolutely. He created all of this. And if you didn't know, now you know. He's in control of all of this. Don't you ever forget it. Yeah. Take that 1K God blessed you with to the pastor when you could have invested it or paid a bill. Yeah. We have to be good stewards of our money. When we're, and you have to think a lot of times people are doing that for validation because the pastor will put you on the spot. Have you ever done something just for validation because somebody kind of challenged you to it? And it's like, well, I'll show them. Y'all remember that episode on A Different World where Whitley went and bought that watch and she had that whole thing of credit cards, knowing all of them were maxed and none, you know what I'm saying? And just because it was a white lady that thought she couldn't afford it, she had to show her, I'ma tell you, right? And her daddy said, no, you need to take it back. You can't afford it. And she had to tuck her tail between her legs and go back. But a lot of times, oftentimes, we do things because we want to show off. We want that validation. We want to feel like we are something, somebody in front of somebody that could care less, really. You know, that's insecurity. I try not to walk in insecurity. I know who I am. I don't have to validate. I don't have to explain. I ain't got to do because I'm me, right? When you are you, when you are him, when you are she, there's a whole lot of stuff we don't have to do. Thank God. Yeah, get out there and learn to fish. Again, Prince Bud. It's been a while since I fished too. Hey, Don Hugh. Dunder says, I believe it was Marcus Aurelius. You said, don't argue about what a good man is. Focus on being a good man. That's right. That's that stoicism that we need to tap into. I'm trying to teach my son about that. You don't have to express every emotion that you're feeling. Let them wonder sometimes. You don't have to wear it on your face and in your body language and the words that you say. Keep it here. And you transfer that energy into something positive, constructive, right? Don't focus on what somebody else is doing. You focus on you being that. Be the example. A disconnect is not a beef. When I disconnect, I still want to see you win. Absolutely. Just because I don't rock with you like that or on this particular thing or in that, or I can't go with you in that, I still want you to win. I don't like seeing people out here suffer, especially when I know they could be doing better. But it's all about the decisions they make in life. And unfortunately, I can't go with you down that hole. I got to keep it moving because I don't want to risk you tainting me. And that's just what it is. You see what's in a person's heart by what they say and how they treat you. The simple life is peaceful. Life get chaotic. Living to impress. There you go. Living to impress others. Look at Adele. What up, Adele Woodward? How are you? Are you still in Cali with the family? She went to her granddaughter's graduation yesterday and she was filming it. So I popped in there. But another woman right here, godly woman, beautiful woman. She plants, she has a farm. So she shows, her animals, her chickens, her turkeys. Do you have llama on your farm? Um, but she plants and produces like basil and all types of herbs and stuff like that. Just a beautiful woman, God-fearing woman. And I think her husband is a veteran too. So shout out to him on Memorial Weekend. It's more white kids than black kids. Where? I'm behind in the chat. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Scorpio Mom. A-Team says, right, perspective, we have to sit down and evaluate self and acknowledge our offensive actions. Yeah. We have to. And apologize when necessary, you know. And sometimes apologizing is not possible. So we just have to do better in the future. I offended somebody years ago so bad that that person still will not talk to me, right? I gave up talking to them a long time ago as well, but sometimes we can offend somebody so bad to where they just have to cut off, and I understand it. Now that I have a relationship with him, I understand where that person's coming from, because what I spoke was what was in my heart at the time, and it was nothing good. So I don't blame that person for staying away. Absolutely. Sometimes you just don't you just gotta let it go. Yeah, like a mama duck with her ducklings, yeah. Baby fever got you bad, Mo out here look hollering compliment. I know, those babies were so cute. Train the child the way they should go, and they won't depart from your teaching. Amen, that's right. Adele says, "Hello, everyone." We gotta train up our kids the way to go. I'll tell you, these teenage years are something else, though. Man, when my son hit these double digits, I'm like, "What is this?" And I feel like I'm trying. I'm really trying. And he's a good kid. He's smart, intellectual. Um, he just has some ways about him that are becoming more and more offensive. And so I gotta figure it out. I just gotta keep praying about it, you know. Right, A team, only person I try to impress is me and grow my confidence. That's right. At the end of the day, we should be in competition with self, not him, her, him, and her, and them, and that. No, we too old for that. At this point in life, the only person we in competition with is self. We want to get better for self, right? Yes, God is our source. CDT Beats was good. Thunder, speaking of sunsets, have you even seen a sunset or sunrise while at sea? Oh my God, yes. Watching the sunrise or the sunset over that ocean, phew, everything, everything. When you in tune with the source, oh my God, it's like it gives you a dopamine rush that is just crazy. I mean, even just getting that vitamin D from the sun. I could be in a somber mood and go outside for 45 minutes and my whole mood has changed. No lie. That's what vitamin D, that's what sunlight does for the body. It really does. If you're feeling down and the sun is out, take your ass outside. I promise you. Happens every time. Thunder ain't lying. I tried to walk in honesty. Yeah. My son got me with that because I think we were literally talking about lying and liars, right? Because my son, I asked him something about his iPad and he was like, no. I said, you said that a little too quick, son. I said, I got to feel you in lying. I got his iPad. It was warm. I said, why is your iPad as warm as because you've been on it? So you going to sit up here and lie to my face and tell me you wasn't on it? Yes, I was. I said, see, God don't like liars. That's a sin to lie. You do know that, right? So we're talking, blah, blah, blah. I'm lecturing him, and then we get to talking about something else. Then my doorbell rings. Ding. It was Mr. Stan. I said, oh no. I said, son, just tell him I ain't. He looked at me, he said, oh, really? I said, you know what? Never mind. You're right. I just told you we not lying. I got to be the example. So he said, no, 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 no. Let me say he was anxious to lie for me. Anxious. He wanted that opportunity so bad so that he can call me out on it. And I'm so glad at that moment that he wasn't able to hide his emotions because he said, all right, mom, and just hid it and held in that glee, that gratitude for an opportunity to show mom that she's a hypocrite. He couldn't hold it in. He was like, this is my son's goofy ass face. I said, you know what? Never mind. Thank you, Lord. I went, opened up the door. He didn't want nothing much. It was easy, simple. He didn't want nothing major. So I was good. But you see how easy the spirit realm does and it works against you, right? And I had a choice at that moment, right? I'm not going to blame it on God or blame it on Satan. I had a choice. I have free will. I could have just easily lied. And of course, when I open up the door, my son gonna tell Mr. Stan, my mom says she ain't here. Thank God he's hard of hearing. He was like, what the boy said? Nothing. He thought he was gonna be able to use it against me. It didn't work. His plan foiled. But I remember one time when I was 5, my mom used to tell this story all the time. She said, I remember one time your uncle knocked on the door and I told you to tell him that I'm not here. So he said, I opened up the door and said, Uncle such and such, mom's told me to tell you she not here. Too funny. Dumb. Yeah, that part was similar in How I Met Your Mother when Lily had the box of credit cards that were all maxed out. Yep. I used to watch that show. Does she have a page? Who? Oh, Adele. Yes, Adele has a page. Yep. I plan to move soon and hope I have a big yard. Yeah. You gonna move into a house? Why you wait till Ghost graduate to move? You ain't right, Cree Cree. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I plan to move too. I can't do Virginia for too long. It's just not. This ain't it. It just is. It ain't it. You can plant in buckets, especially the herbs and onions and peppers. Yeah, you could put them on your balcony or your patio, or in the kitchen where it'll get some sunlight. You can always start small, which I need to. My backyard is not big either. Um, but I keep saying I'm gonna plant, and my neighbor keeps saying, "When are we gonna plant some? When are we gonna plant some food? When are we gonna plant?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna get to it." It takes a lot out of you, or at least for me. It used to be, stuff like that. But when you're in pain, it's not fun. Bring your plants in the winter and bring them inside. Yeah. Peer pressure is something else. That's because people are insecure and they need that validation. I pray you're able to find a big backyard. I can help you via video chat. That's right. Because I knew you was here, CDT, because you timed out somebody. See? CDT was trying to be incognito. But he was like, let me time this person out. Ah, gotcha. Principal said, I was making a good guess. Cree, some grocery stores will give you buckets from the deli and bakery. You can use really anything, right? 18? I've seen people use trash cans, fill them up with soil and plant. You can use anything, really. He said he's been here the whole time. Hell, I feel you. None of us are perfect. That's right. That was a teachable moment. Yes. Lord, he was trying to throw you under the bus. Yep, he was. Scorpio says Virginia got some fine men folk. You got to tell me where they at. I've met some fine men out here. Yeah. Most of the people that I've ever talked to or entertained were not from here though. They were either from South Carolina, North Carolina, New York. Yeah. So, what do you think about God using baby killing and mass abortions as punishment in the Bible? Where is mass abortions in the Bible? You have to tell me where that is. That's one of those things that people always want to come at with you. The people that are atheist or question God, a lot of them have been hurt, so they try to use the suffering. But you have to remember, God is not the one that brought the suffering, it's other humans. you know does God allow it? Yes, because he is in control, but there is a reason for everything. And if we knew the purpose for everything, then we would be God ourselves. We just have to make sure that we're right, walking righteous, and that we're not mass aborting or killing anybody. And if we do that, we ask for forgiveness so that we could make it to the promised land. God is going to create a whole new heaven and a whole new earth. So I know that's where I want to be, right? So all I can do is what I can do. and be an example for my kid, because I brought forth life into this world. So I have to be an example for him to be better than me, a productive member of society and a God-fearing man. I can't worry about something that I can't control. You understand? But there are a lot of things that I will question, that I can't wait to meet God, God willing, and that he will answer for me, because there's a lot of things that God has allowed to happen, but we may not understand why, but he does. And he's God, so I trust him. That's it. I trust him. God knows best. My cousin always says, God knows best, cuz God knows best. Why? God knows best. I've been wanting to move. Rent got ridiculous over the last few years. Plus, I don't want to switch Ghost to a new school when she is finally thriving. I understand that. Yeah, when they're doing good in school, you don't want to interrupt that. So sometimes we have to sacrifice for our kid. That's what being a parent is, when you sacrifice what it is that you truly desire for the betterment of your children. That's just what you do. Ah, Creaky says plants come to me to die. Her green thumb is red. You just really got to give them attention. You plant them, you water them, you sing so you can sing to them, and they'll thrive. And that's really just it. It's really just paying attention and knowing what plants need a certain amount of sunlight, which ones can thrive without it. It's really simple. You know what I'm saying? Have a green thumb. They always say, what's that saying? If you have a green thumb, then you can keep a man. But here we go, Cree. Plants come to her to die, and she keep her man. Somebody. So that's a myth. The episode of Everybody Hates Chris, when his dad was hiding a credit card, the mom found out and accused him of having a Puerto Rican family across town. She even made him fluent in Spanish. That show is hilarious. Bishop likes that show. That is funny. Sometimes you got to keep them credit cards away from your spouses because they're irresponsible with money. Hosea 3:16. Okay, I'll check it out. I don't have my Bible with me, so I can't look it up. You have to start with easy things, grow little herbs, yeah, and then you can move on to bigger things like collards, yeah. Well, God did it, so it's not unjust and it's not wrong because God allowed it. So if God allowed someone who didn't commit a crime to suffer, that's all for God's glory, whether you believe it or not. You got to really truly believe in fear and have fear of him. And once you do, you'll understand that everything that occurs is for a reason. And God can never do no wrong because he's God. I want to grow tomatoes too. I want to get some greens too. Yeah, my neighbor, she grows those cherry tomatoes, and I'm talking about her vine up against her fence, just full. She came in and she bought all kind of little Ziploc bag. Them things was good. Oh my God, those cherry tomatoes were so good. And I'm not a cherry tomato kind of girl. Like, I don't pick them when I put them in my salad, no, because I don't like that pop it and then all of that good. I don't like that. But that night, ain't nothing like fresh vegetables. I tell you what. Ooh, ain't nothing like a fresh vegetable. I grew up eating canned and frozen. The only time I had fresh vegetables at my mama's house was when I made the salad. I was the salad maker. My mama always put me in charge of the salad because I always made it real colorful and beautiful and pretty and stuff. But other than that, everything else was canned. My granny made fresh collard greens, cabbage, stuff like that. But in my mama house, nope. Every so often. When I got older, my mom started cooking more fresh vegetables. When I moved out the house, though, I'm like, really? Yeah, Adele grows all kind of stuff. That's her channel right there. What's your channel name, Adele? Put it in the chat. Adele got me 4 new followers yesterday. She's so sweet. But those people drop in and drop off just like me. Sometimes I'll go in, I will subscribe, I'll watch a couple of the videos, help them get some watch time hours, and then after a couple months, when I realize, this isn't for me, or I can't understand everything that they're saying anytime they go live, then I unsub, or sometimes I'll leave the sub there for a good 6 months and then I'll unsub, just to help them get their numbers and stuff up. But yeah, she's got some good. I think, Adele, you have a channel just for like your gardening and stuff. But she got everything. She got animals, she got everything. Yeah, Chelsea loves cherry tomatoes. My great grandma had a garden. I have to channel her in my journey. That's right. Think about grandma. We want to pass these things along, you know? Other than that, it's good to just have fresh vegetables. That way you can see the fruits of your labor. We talking about having them fruits, right? You could see, you know, what you've sown come to fruition. That is an amazing feeling, right? Grow your own food, even if it's just tomatoes. Yeah, Thunder is a huge advocate of preparation and self-preparation, and having things readily available so you don't have to depend on, certain systems and stuff because you got it there. If were to go to war like some of these other places, if we were bombed here in the US and you're not able to acquire, guess what? You still got X, Y, and Z. At least we can live off of these cherry tomatoes. Hey, Boxing Scholar. At least we can live off of these cherry tomatoes, for a good day or two until things calm down. But yeah, it's a good skill to have. Thanks, Boxer. Catch these hands. I'm gonna learn to grow some other type of greens too. Yes, I love me some collard greens. I was looking at the collard greens the other day. I was like, I'm just not in the mood for them though. I usually have to get in the mood to want collard greens, and then once I make them, I can eat them for about 2 or 3 days, and then I throw the rest in the freezer. Right now, the only thing in my freezer that's old is some I got some pinto beans and turkey wings that are frozen that I need to thaw out and just get rid of and eat. Um, but yeah, I'll usually freeze them after a while. Adele says growing your own food is better so you're not ingesting any traces of chemicals. Plus, the flavor is different, especially when it's heirloom. Ooh, okay. Catch this knowledge. Cree mix cow manure in your soil. Now is the time for you to start planting to get some parsley, scallion, and rosemary. So right now, the beginning or the end of spring. Okay. And those things can be grown in the house, right? But we don't want cow manure smell in our home. So I know it's really, really good soil, and it's good for soil, and it helps the stuff grow. But that smell is atrocious. I remember them road trips. And next thing you know, it's like, whoa! And you try to drive through as fast as you can, but you see the cows grazing on the side, and you're like, moo! How cute. But for those of you that don't know, I haven't had beef since 2003, 2004. I was relocating, no, 2005. Me and my mama was relocating from, she was driving with, no, I went to see my mom for her birthday, and we drove up to San Francisco. This was my trip. I'm going to treat you to a night out in San Francisco. We're going to just do our thing. So we did. I took her to this Japanese buffet where they had crab and all this other stuff. She loved it. And later on that night, we found a club. Okay, we went found a club, and mama was getting her dance on with this white man. It was so funny. We were in the Fillmore district, right? Shout out to Fillmore. Shout out to Prince Hall Projects. So we were in the Fillmore dancing and everything. And then what happened? On the way up to San Francisco, or the way back down to LA, my mom was still in LA at this time. We saw these cows on the side of, you know, on the side of the freeway. And these cows look so sick. I'm talking about, these cows look like they was on their last leg. I was like, "Oh, why these cows look so skinny and malnourished?" And it turned me complete. I never ate a burger ever since. No beef ever since. I said, I can't do it. I said, I can't. It made me feel so bad. It was something about these cows. And my mom, she was like, "You ain't had a cow. You ain't ate no beef ever since we saw them damn cows on the side of the road." I was like, "Nope." I couldn't do it. It was crazy how it gave me this aversive effect towards beef, but mm-mm. No, you won't smell it because you're going to put a lot of it in the soil. Oh, you mix it with the soil mix. Well, where do you get cow manure from? Can you just go and buy it? Lord, not mama, I use Russian comfy Bocking 14 as my plant fertilizer. Where do you get that from? Do you have to order it online? Oh, it's not just straight up manure. See how ignorant I am? I don't know. I don't know, 18. I don't know. Because they not feeding them properly. Yeah, it was so sad to see. CDT, if you would have seen these cows, I wonder if I got a picture of it somewhere. I'm pretty sure if I look in some of my old something, maybe my old laptop at the time. So I remember, I'm pretty sure I snapped pictures of that shit because I just couldn't. It was it was that bad to where I was like, I'm not eating beef again. I had already kind of started feeling like I didn't want to eat beef anyway. When I saw that, it sealed the deal. And I tell you what, when I stopped eating beef, it curbed my appetite for a lot of other bullshit. Whatever the beef was doing, it was maybe I had worms or something like that, but it was making me hungry for more stuff. I would eat beef 2 hours later, I'd be hungry again. That's not normal. When I cut out beef, my appetite dropped tremendously, like immediately. Oh, okay, Calmanor doesn't stink. No, I don't eat beef or pork. I stopped eating pork way before that. I wasn't a big. I didn't like ham. The only ham I would ever have was my um uh second or third cousin Teddy, who was 70 as in her time. She was my grandmother's first cousin during Christmas or Thanksgiving. She would bake this ham, but she would slice it so thin and it was so buttery and sweet and had the juices in there, the pineapple and the maple syrup or whatever she put on it. But oh, that ham was the bomb. I would tear that ham up. But I think because it was thinly sliced and I didn't get any gristle, I've never been, even pork chops. I tried a pork chop sandwich when I first got in the military. There was this place down the street that had pork chop sandwiches. It was good, but I just couldn't. The smell of bacon used to make my stomach turn, but I do give Bishop bacon every once in a while. I'll make him bacon, or when we go to IHOP, which is his favorite, he'll order bacon and he'll eat bacon. But I'll let him have it every so often. But nah, no beef, no pork. And y'all know now I have an allergy to chicken, so I can't even eat chicken like that no more. So I'm stuck with turkey and seafood for the most part. I have a farm. I grow rare plants, especially herb spices and 80 and rare plants. Nice. I have a legit pounds of manure in the yard right now. Yep. I want to start to learn how to can. Okay, my grandmother didn't allow us in the kitchen while she was canning. Yeah, she didn't want y'all in bad behinds in there messing up her flow, contaminated her canned food. Turkey bacon is good. I eat it. It's about how you prepare it. But if you are a bacon lover, then yeah, I could see you hating turkey bacon. Turkey bacon is not good to the real bacon lover. I get it, but it works. I fry mine really, really crispy, and then I let it dry and cool down, and then I crumble it and I put it in my salad, or I'll make a BLT with it. It works because they put all of that BS in it, the sodium and on the sulfites and all that stuff in it to give it that bacon flavor. But we know it's not real bacon. But if you can't eat pork or if you choose not to, turkey bacon is really your next best option. I like the uncured turkey bacon. I don't like the sizzling or that fake processed stuff. Get the uncured. Hey, Janesta. Good morning. Happy Friday. I'm ignoring that comment. You are a different version of a pescatarian. It is what it is. Leather, yeah, it can be kind of. It don't just flow off of your teeth like real bacon with the fat on the sides. It's a little. It can be a little tough. Ain't even gonna hold you. I like turkey bacon and regular bacon. I ain't picky. I know that's right. She a true Southern country gal. Chelsea Lynn said I eats it all. All right, well, I got 20% left, and I never did make it to the gym. I'm gonna go drop off these books and go get my son because it's a half day today. And Monday is a holiday, so I bet $10 he off on Tuesday too, because these teachers always think that they deserve another day off after the holiday. After a 4-day, after a 3.5-day holiday, they think that they got the right to an extra day off. But I'm gonna give it to them because these kids are bad as hell. That old school bacon with the rind on it, yup. Them thick pieces, right? Use it to grow the pasture, okay. Janessa, you got here at the end of my lecture, darling. Next time, be on time for class. You heard me? Yeah, it's the end of the year here. My son got his 5th grade graduation, week after next. I'm so excited for him. I can't wait for his little cap and gown pictures to come. Oh, my little baby with his bird ears. Oh, y'all, I got to get this boy in order. Anyways, I will chat with you guys all later. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Be safe, whatever it is that you plan to do, okay? Be mindful of those on the road. Just continue to watch your six. Shout out to our truckers out there on the road during these holidays and people driving drunk. Shout out to all of our veterans and all of those that paid the ultimate price. Shout out to you. Let's give honor and glory to the maker, the one who created and invented all of this. The reason why we are alive and living and breathing and being able to chat online today. Our Heavenly Father. Yes. Today is the last school day here. Okay. We're a little bit behind, and then we also start a little bit late too. But anyways, I gotta go, guys. Love you. Talk to you later. Peace.